Hello, and welcome to episode 225 of the Arena Regulars podcast. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're your source for drunken Magic the Gathering arena content.
That's right, just a couple of regular guys drinking some irregular beers, talking about Magic the Gathering, in particular, the online client, MTG Arena.
That's right, and we have a very irregular set that we're talking about this week, which we're going into is the newest set for Magic the Gathering. It is called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, not unfamiliar with this name. But yes, we're starting off the year, the 7-set year. This is our first Universes Beyond set, and it's the smallest one. So we'll have to get into what that means exactly, and what we're expecting, and what we're hoping, and what we're not hoping for from the set. But anyway, before we get into all of that, each week we bring a beer, we drink it, we rate it on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. So with that, Jeff, what is on tap this week?
All right, this week we have Kapow by Reinhard. This is a West Coast IPA, 6.5%, yada, yada, yada. But really, it's the comic book art and the... what's it called when you have these kind of exclamations, sort of comic booky...
Onomatopoeias?
Sort of, yeah, I guess. I thought maybe there's an actual, like a specific name for this.
Oh, like a comic book name? I don't, there probably is, but I just always assumed, I just called them onomatopoeias because that's what they are.
Yeah, maybe that's all I'm thinking of. But you're right, there probably is some sort of actual, like, literature term for it.
Yeah. Well,
but kapow!
Yeah. I was thinking more like comic book term if they're like, oh, and this is going to be like a onomatopoeia panel where there's like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, that the artists would
use
action
to speak
words to each other.
I'm not sure. But yeah, we've had this one for quite a while now. This originally was supposed to be for our Spider-Man set, but we didn't get it to each other in time.
Right.
Before we stopped talking about Spider-Man.
Well, the window there was so short.
It was so short. But it also, I mean, Ninja Turtles, also a comic book. And
yeah,
actually, strangely, I don't know how much you know about Ninja Turtles, but like apparently the original comic book was like not cartoony. It was much
I heard
darker.
it was super dark. Yeah.
Yeah, which actually
like,
seems...
I'd be into that.
That sounds kind of cool, because I've seen some of the artwork from it on these cards. I'm like, wait, should I read the like original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book? I don't know where to find it, or even what it's really called, but it sounds kind of cool. But yeah, anyway, Jeff, kapow, finally cracking into this this puppy. Let's see what it tastes like. Maybe it's going to kapow us in the face. Hopefully not. All right, we have some Magic news. This last weekend was Arena Championship number 11, and we would like to give a big congratulations to Marcelo Cavalcante for winning with Demir mid-range, coming in clutch. That's pretty sick. These tournaments are always super interesting and different. I didn't get to watch a ton of it, but if you're unfamiliar with how these work, they have like, the tournament is a little bit smaller than some of the other ones that we've seen. It's not like the 300-person Pro Tours, but after day one, they cut to a top like 16, and they have like there's like a wild card round basically, and then there's the two brackets of like 16 players and 16 players, and then they do single elimination to the final one, and they play best of 3. Really cool formatting, and a lot of like big names in this tournament as well. Like Arne Huschenbett made it to one of the top 16s, or I guess the top 8. Sorry, it's top 16. There's 8 and 8 is what I meant to say.
Right.
And then they meet in the middle. So there's not 32 players. It's 16. Yes. Sorry, my bad. Sorry, everybody.
Wow.
Math is not my. That's Jeff's thing. Everybody knows.
Way to lie to us. Yeah, I didn't get to watch much of it either, but I do think that format's super cool. Like, some of these tournaments with just the bigger tournaments, I find as a spectator not as a competitor. As a spectator, I kind of get lost in some of those like mid to late rounds where it's just like, oh, this person's like 8-1 and they're fighting to be 9-1. And it's a little like, okay, but like, I'll just tune back in when, are we 12-1 or like, does it actually matter? Does, you know, there's just, the early rounds are cool and then the late rounds are cool because it's like, are we going to actually, you know, qualify? And then some of the middle rounds is like, I don't know, unless someone's on some sort of epic run or something, right? Like you need the stories to line up to kind of, for that to be cool. Whereas I feel like this format lends itself a bit more to like, there's always something on the line when you're watching.
That's true. It's also only 2 days, so that makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
It's not like
it's a lot more compact too. So
day 2 of the Pro Tour gets more like in the morning. It's exciting because it's draft, and then it gets exciting towards the end of the day. But anyway, super cool. Marcelo, I got to like listen to his like acceptance speech via Zoom. He lives in Brazil, but he was just talking about how he's played competitive Magic for like 20, 25, 30-ish. I think he started in 1996. But he started playing competitively like 25 years ago.
Is it like TV with a fake mustache?
Imagine. But no. But he finally won like a awesome tournament. Like he's played a bunch. He's been in a bunch of different things, but he finally got his win.
It's so hard to win one of these events. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. So congratulations. That's so cool. Big family man as well. He brought his kid into the Zoom screen so we could see him. So like, I don't know. He seems like such a sweet dude, and I'm very, very happy for Marcelo. So congratulations again. That's so awesome.
And on a selfish note, I'm glad that he was able to win with Dimir midrange, because I enjoy playing against Dimir midrange, and so seeing more of it on the ladder is fun.
Yeah, there you go. We also wanted to point out, hey folks, we have a Patreon. If you are interested in helping us out, buying us some beers, giving us a little bit of tips, you can head on over to Patreon. You can find us at Arena Regulars. But the big thing, the reason we're bringing this back up, because we used to talk about this, but we don't talk about it anymore, is that we do have tokens and stickers that we will send to you if you become a patron. Very exciting stuff. Like actual things we can give back to you. That's exciting. I'm excited about it. I've been waiting until we had something to actually physically give people. So it's real. It's here. And we'll send it to you.
They're cool tokens too. I was giving them out at the Toronto Spotlight event.
That's right. That was our soft launch, and now they are Patreon exclusives.
That's right.
Kind of. Also, if you are a patron, if you join our Discord channel, you get a special color on your name. Just a little bit of bling. A little bit of nice stuff. But mostly, Jeff, our Discord, it's awesome, and you should join it.
Yeah, definitely. You should check it out. Link is in the show notes. All sorts of combos going on all the time. I just learned about a new format through our Discord earlier today. So
that's right. Me too.
Very cool stuff.
Jeff, you can't just leave us hanging with the new format and not talk about it just a little bit.
Well, all right, but I don't want to be a doomer, you know? This is our set that's excited for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I'm also excited for this other format. And I feel like I've seen a few of these. I've seen a few like formats pop up that are basically anti-UP is kind of the core. But this is the first one that I was like, oh, you have my attention. And it's basically standard, but 2 years instead of 3 and no UB. So it's just the past 2 years of Magic sets. So it's basically like standard used to be. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And it seems like they've already set up a lot of the stuff. Like they have weekly tournaments and they have a Reddit community, a Discord community, and all that. I joined the Discord just to see, and I was like the 900th person to join. Or something like that.
I didn't join yet. Maybe I should join as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there. And so if you were into like, what standard used to be, 2 years worth of cards and all of it all of them feel like Magic cards. This could be the format for you. It is called... what is it called again?
It's called Planar Standard.
Planar Standard. For some reason, my head was like Paradise Standard. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
But...
Well, it's nice because it's planar, like Marvel. Oh God! Oh no! The UB is seeping into me.
Zach wants to play the opposite format. No MTG sets.
Only UB.
Zach plays New York Standard. All cards have to be set in New York.
In New York. There's only like 300 cards. No, sorry. A planar like Magic Planes,
New York block constructed.
But also, Jeff, I just want to point this out. It's Magic Planes Standard, right? But it's also planar because it's just plain standard, like just just what it was. It's planar. It's standard, but planar.
Now I won't forget the name. That's
right.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that a lot. But yeah, that seems cool. The only card that is banned is Corey Steelcutter, which pisses me off because that's the fucking card I want to play. So, whatever. I got to get, I have a play set in paper. I got to use them somehow.
Yeah.
Apparently, I can't use them anywhere, so that's fine.
Hey, you could just petition for an unbanning,
That seems like a really bad place to... Hey, new format that's trying to get your legs and feet or roots in the ground or whatever. Can I unban the card that you just decided the only card that needs to be banned is this? But anyway, it seems like a pretty cool thing. Currently, it's just Aether Drift on, besides all the UB stuff. Pretty sweet. And there's
like I do wonder, I didn't look too deep into it, but when they say the past 2 years of non-UB sets, when we have a year like this, where 2/3 of the sets are UB, does that just like annihilate the card pool? Or is it like we use the past 10?
No. So it is
non-UB
it's still syncing up with rotation.
Okay.
So because we're in 2026 already, and rotation would have happened, this is like Lauren Eclipse, and then Edge of Eternity, and Tarkir, Aether Drift, and then Foundations is Eternal. You can always play
so
Foundations.
it's pretty small because...
It's pretty small.
Yeah. All right.
And then it will finish before it rotates in 2027. It'll have a Strixhaven as well as Reality Fracture.
But I guess fewer sets rotate as well. There's only like 1 or 2 sets that rotate.
Yeah. And then Foundations is just like your box of cards you can always play with.
So it really is like old school when they used to make 3 sets a year, and they were all Magic sets.
And one of them, there's 4 sets, one's a core set, and it's all preprints, and that's Foundations. So that's literally what the format is. Anyway, I don't want to talk about this too much because I haven't played it, but I am excited about it.
I'm just like curious.
Yeah, but shout out Buff Kangaroo. Thanks for giving us bringing that to our attention in the Discord. And if you want to know the cutting edge of what's happening, you should join our Discord. It's a lot of fun, and we have a good time there. Jeff, let's talk about turtles. Let's talk about pizza. It is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pregame episode, but I'm kind of calling this the pizza set because there's so much goddamn pizza everywhere, making me hungry. Jeff, I was this close to like Uber Eatsing you some slices of pizza so that we could have pizza on the show.
That would have been great. Are you a weird pizza dude, or are you like a standard pizza kind of like, give me my pepperoni slice?
I'm a plainer pizza guy. I'm fine with whatever, but I will try anything. Okay. Sorry. I will try most things.
I'm curious what you're correcting for.
I'm just saying that, like, this is so stupid, but like pineapple on pizza, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's great, but it's delicious. Like, get the fuck out of here if you're like upset by that. Some of the pizza flavors in the set and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones, I don't know if I care to try. They sound horrible.
Some of them are quite bad. Because you said like it's making you hungry seeing all these pizzas. I'm like, are these pizzas making you hungry?
Some of the pizzas look good.
Yeah.
Some of the anthropomorphic pizza people, I'd nibble on them, but
interesting.
I'd try a finger, but some of the actual pizza ones, I don't know. But I mean, so then Jeff, are you a weird pizza guy? Like what?
No, I think I'm similar to you. Like, I will try anything pretty much. When it comes to actually ordering pizza, though, I tend to get sort of outvoted because, like, not just ordering pizza just for me. That almost
of
it's
course.
very rare. And so, I have 2 kids, and then my wife just kind of likes. She'll try anything
Jeez.
too, but she likes what she likes, And so,
Sure.
sometimes when it's like with the in-laws, because my father-in-law likes anchovies on pizza, so I get to do the salty pizza umami bomb with him. But generally, it ends up being pretty straight, like cheese or pepperoni and a veggie kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah, I was big, like I was vegetarian for years. So still to this day, if you just give me like green peppers and red onion on a pizza, like there's something about the crunch in it that I really like. And I still
like
really like
veggies.
that.
One of my go-tos is just like the vegetarian, and I think sliced tomatoes is an underrated pizza topping.
I have to say you are sorely mistaken. That is one of the things I was about to say. I really like veggie pizzas.
No fucking tomatoes.
No, it's more so that sometimes they put so many veggies on it that it's so soggy and floppy and like.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And usually that's because the tomato is the thing that's making it so soggy. So I tend to be like, oh, thanks for just going into the salad bin and just putting that shit on here, or like burger toppings. Like
I
that's
agree
like,
that too many toppings is too many, but tomatoes are good.
okay.
I would skip the green peppers before I would skip the tomatoes.
Yeah, see, I like the green peppers. Obviously, that's because I mentioned it. But I will say that I love black olives on anything, and I will add that in addition.
Yeah, black olives are huge.
I'm a big black olive fan. And jalapenos, of course, easy.
I actually recently started putting black olives on my subs when I get them. I was like, this is an improvement. This is something I gotta stick with.
I ask for extra black olives when I get subs because they're
Yeah, I'm new to the scene, man. I'm just discovering this.
I know we're not really talking about magic cards, but this reminds me of a story. So when I was in kindergarten, when you're in kindergarten and it's like your birthday and they're like, hey, bring in cupcakes or something for the whole class.
Sure.
Well, I would say my mom, it was me. I thought it would be fun to just bring in like fruit because I was like, it's healthy instead of cake or whatever. So everybody hated me, but not as much as the kid who brought in cans of black olives for everyone to try a whole black olive, and that was his birthday treat at my kindergarten class.
Look, I love olives, but that's crazy.
Yeah,
I would never send my son with that.
it was, and everyone had to try them, and it was like the thing. It was like, it's this kid's birthday. You better eat the black olive that he gives you because it's his favorite food. And like that was the thing. And I remember being like kind of excited because I was like, oh, I'll try this new thing.
Right.
And being nice to him or whatever. And like they taste like they don't have a crazy intense taste. Like green olives are much more intense than black olives are as far as like, I don't know, flavor. But I remember it being like a big divide of like who would try it and who wouldn't, and trying to make this kid feel better. I was like, I will eat the black olives, and then I was like, hey, black olives are good. You are right. These are great. And so I've liked them ever since. But
that's awesome. That takes balls, though. To be like, I'm gonna bring in black olives instead of cupcakes.
That I don't even remember his name, but it was like everyone was like, oh, it's somebody's birthday, we're getting cupcakes, and it was like black olives from a can, cold.
Meanwhile, like me now, I'd be like, cupcakes. Can I have olives instead?
Exactly. Yeah.
That kid was just ahead of his age group or whatever, ahead of his time.
So it's like if your kids were like, hey, I want to bring in this random thing for people to try, would you be like?
I would be like, you have to bring something that other people might like at least as a backup.
As a backup.
Or
Okay.
like,
all right. Yeah. That's good.
Like I appreciate that you love this, it's your favorite, and you want to share it with your friends, and I don't want to discourage that. But you have to understand that it's a strong flavor that will be quite polarizing. And so
Yeah.
maybe we should have something so that everyone can participate.
It would be like a weird thing if your kid was obsessed with like cold refried beans from like a can.
Right.
And they just like spoonfuls of it. And so they're like, everybody gets a spoon of refried beans from the can. And you're like, nobody else will eat this.
This is a you thing, dude.
Yeah, and I don't know how to tell you this without hurting your feelings.
Right.
It's great you do it, but like, whatever. Anyway, sorry. Crazy tangent. But hey, that's why you're here. So,
That's right.
Jeff, we're talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle magic cards. Could we talk about our acquisition period, our no pass list? What's going on here? What are we doing?
Yes. So, when a new set drops, if you're like us, your plan is to begin by drafting it. Not only because Limited is awesome and it's lots of fun, and new sets are kind of like new set Limited is kind of one of the most fun times in Magic. But also it helps build your collection, right? So if you want to play Standard or you want to play other formats, just playing Limited, you might win a few packs, you might pick some cards, etc. It builds your collection. And what we've decided is that we should think about that collection building while we're drafting. Namely, there's nothing wrong with taking cards for your collection during a draft, even if it's not the right card for your current deck you're building. But when it's a brand new set, it's hard to read all the cards and make that decision in real time, on the fly, under the gun of like the 50-second clock or whatever.
No, not even 50-second. This is pick 2, baby. It's way harder.
Yeah.
You gotta know what you want to pick, because
You gotta
holy
pick
shit,
2 cards now.
that you're under the gun in this set, buddy. It's
So
crazy.
now more than ever, we love to think about what cards we would be really excited to take for our collection ahead of time, and just promise ourselves that if we see those cards, we'll just take it, and then we alleviate that mental strain when you're under the gun in the draft on the clock. And so this is what we call our no pass list. These are cards that you will not pass if you see them. Try to choose a few, like 2 or 3 or 4, whatever cards that you're just promising yourself, hey, I really want this card for my collection. If I see one, I should take it so that I don't have to spend a wild card on it later, because wild cards are the most important resource in constructed Magic
Yes, they are.
arena.
In constructed Magic, period.
That's it. More important than the dollar.
I start sleeving up like 2s and jacks in my deck. It's a wild card. It's just whatever I want to take.
Yeah. This is a mythic. This one's
Yeah.
this one's rare.
So this represents this card. Imagine. All right.
Judge.
So this is a small set. I want to bring that up right off the bat. We have like 190 cards in this set. That's not including basic lands, right? And what we're looking at here is I think I have like 3 cards. I feel like that's a good spot for the list. I'm not really looking at any of the bonus sheet cards. That's always crazy. So I'm gonna start us off, Jeff. I got something. I'm right here. I'm continuing to want to play a certain archetype that I've played in the past. I talked about it in the
My
previous
list
episode.
also follows that theme.
Great, that's what we do. And so the first thing is looking for cards that fit into this category of like, will this help a deck that I'm currently trying to play? And this one looks like it could be. It could be helping out. And I'm hoping it does, because it's a mythic, and if I see it, I want to make sure I'm going to take it. But this card is... Sorry, I'm doing a whole drum roll because Jeff can't see what it is, and I have to do this whole
There's
like
some sort of crazy
thing.
technology going on here.
I'm taking Triceraton Commander. So this is a white mythic. It is XX white for a 2/2 creature dinosaur soldier. It has flying. And it says whenever this creature attacks, dinosaurs you control other than this creature get +1/+1 and gain flying until end of turn. And it says when this creature enters, create X 2/2 white dinosaur creature tokens. So
Spicy.
first of all, I want to say It's interesting that they said dinosaurs you control other than this creature instead of other dinosaurs you control. Just because it feels like a beginner-friendly wording to kind of really hammer home the point that this does not also get +1/+1.
Oh, I see. I was like, what's the difference?
Because normally you would say whenever this creature attacks, other dinosaurs you
Right.
control get +1/+1. But it says other dinosaurs you control other than this creature, which just seems like obviously this is an entry point for some players. Anyway, but the reason this is on my no pass list is because this in White Weenie is a 2-mana 2/2 flyer that then at 4 mana makes you creatures, 6 mana makes you creatures, 8 mana makes you creatures, which will be interesting and helpful. And I like this. I like this type of thing where it's like it's good as a 2-drop, it's good as a 4-drop, it's good late in the game. It will fill a role. It's not legendary. We can do this. And it may enable some sort of tricky, sneaky things. Possibly, if I'm interested in doing that. I don't know. But having flying creatures is something I want to do. It also works with a card from another UB set that we had recently. A 1-drop called Momo, maybe. Momo helps us. This has flying.
Never
so we
heard
have
of
to...
it.
It pays for at least one of the X's, so instead of a 4-drop, it's 3, and then we get another dinosaur. That's kind of cool. You know,
That's actually pretty good.
I
If you
kind of
can
like
curve
that, right?
like this on 3, make two
Yeah.
2/2s, and one's flying and buffs the other one. It's like 5 flying power on turn 3. Mm-hmm. That ain't bad.
6 if you count Momo. So I don't know. I like it. Anyway, there's something here, and it's a mythic, and so currently in my collection, mythics are tighter than other ones. So Triceraton Commander seems like a pretty cool card. I like the flexibility of it. Normally, if something has XX in the cost, I just immediately write it off. I don't give a shit. But this one might fit into some sort of white weenie deck, which makes me
It's
excited.
actually such a true shortcut. XX, no,
No.
that's too expensive. I don't care what it does. It's too expensive.
No, I'm never going to have that much mana. I don't want to have that much mana.
Yeah, I never want to cast that.
Yeah, exactly. We are not the Doppelgang podcast. Actually, this is funny. So, if anyone knows Carlo MTG, awesome streamer, huge fan of Doppelgang, big Doppelgang player. When I saw him, I met him in person for the first time at the Spotlight in Toronto. I had him sign my copy of Doppelgang because I know that it's one of his favorite cards. And so now I feel very lucky that I have this card that I probably won't play, but it is signed by the
That's pretty
Carlo
cool.
MTG.
Yeah.
It feels pretty cool.
It'd be like
but-
getting a regular Zax signed Slippery Bogle. You know?
Yeah, exactly. For your popper deck. One of my favorite cards. But anyway, Jeff, what's your first card? What are we looking at here?
I was just going to say, the archetype you were referencing was mono white dinos, right? The one
Not
that you
Dino.
always
It's just
love
mono.
to play. And
Just mono
this
white.
card's perfect for it.
The Dino part just is because you get to make tokens. Like it doesn't actually buff other dinos in your deck because you won't play other white dinos because there aren't that many.
Yeah. There
Yeah.
could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
For some reason, the card that's coming to mind is like the Territorial Hammer Skull from back in the day, if that somehow finds its
I
way
see.
back in Standard.
like I'm not going to play that in Standard, but I was thinking Zetalpa, which I'm also not going to play in Standard, which is the giant Elder
It's
Dino
like,
one.
That's a different deck, Zach. You're playing like 8 drops and XXs. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know
that's true.
what kind of crazy mono white deck you're playing. But...
Oh god, a bad one. Anyway, Jeff,
almost certainly, yeah.
what do you got for us?
So, the first one was a no-brainer for me. Saw this card, was like, yes, I want this card. And so, similar to you, like this is an archetype I've been trying to make happen, or just love to play. And this is a pushed version of a card that goes into that deck. And so the card I'm looking at is Super Shredder. This is 1 and a black for a legendary mutant ninja human. It's a 1/1 menace. Whenever another permanent leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Super Shredder. So obviously I'm thinking about sacrifice decks here. I love that it triggers if I kill their stuff. That's always nice. It's like the Sephiroth thing where killing their stuff actually matters too.
Yeah.
But mostly I'm trying to, sack my own stuff. And I've been playing a mono black Artisac deck it's built entirely around the clue generator from Avatar.
Your Obsessive Pursuit.
Yes, Obsessive Pursuit. And the failure mode of that deck is mainly, well, the big one is if you don't draw Obsessive Pursuit, the deck is a lot worse. But the other one is, even when you have Obsessive Pursuit, you need a way to take advantage of it. And
oh man! Okay,
currently I'm playing the dorky 2-drop that whenever you sack a permanent, it gets a +1/+1 counter. This is like a wild upgrade over that. And so the kind of play pattern is like you have so many artifacts and you sack them all to the big snake, and this thing gets freaking massive, and it has menace, and
you give it lifelink so that you gain a bunch of life back, and all that stuff.
Yeah, like everything in this set, I wish this card wasn't fucking legendary, but
we will get to that.
It is what it is.
We will get to that.
I don't know, maybe you end up playing 2 or 3 of these as a supercharged version, but mostly the redundancy is what matters, because if I don't draw that 2-drop, I don't have a great way to super care about
capitalize
the artifacts.
To super shredder your opponent to ribbons.
So
yeah.
I love this card. It's gonna go great in my mono black Artisac deck.
That's pretty interesting because Super Shredder, I was initially, obviously the deck you're pointing out makes a ton of sense. I immediately was thinking this is like Orzhov Pixie area, where you're doing Pixie shenanigans, where you are recasting things to kill their stuff, and then you get a counter, and then you bounce it, and then you get to get a counter. Yeah. Which is pretty interesting.
And it's
cool.
a fairly aggressively slanted card, which goes well with their. You don't want to pick this up, obviously, because
So, which leads me to another card, which is my next card that's on the my no pass list, which I think it's more so a thing that I want this tech to be good. I think it's really cool. Is it gonna be great? I don't know. Probably not. But I want to pick up some of these anyway because I'm getting kind of excited by some of them. But we're looking at Turncoat Kunoichi. Is that how you say that? I don't know. It's a white card.
That's how I would say it.
It's a 2 and a white for a
Kunoichi?
3/2 creature mutant ninja fox at rare, and has sneak.
You and your foxes, man. If there's a mono white fox, then Zach's gonna pick it.
And this will actually, that's so funny that you said that, because this card is the same thing. So it has sneak, and it's 2 white black for its sneak cost, and sneak means that you can pay that mana, and you can also return an unblocked attacker that you control back to your hand during the declare blocker step or whatever. And then this enters tapped and attacking. And it says, when this creature enters, choose target creature an opponent controls, exile that creature until end of turn. Until this creature leaves the battlefield. And then if this creature's sneak cost was paid, exile the chosen creature instead. So either it turns in either it's a 3-mana 3/2 O-ring thing, or if you sneak it out, then you just straight up exile stuff.
Yeah.
And the reason that Jeff is talking about this is because there was a fox that was in Wilds of Eldraine that I also picked for. Actually, sorry, I picked that for Worthless Slots, but that card I've recently been picking up and playing again in mono white because it exiles non-fox creatures. And so this also happens to be a fox. So strangely, that one doesn't hit this one. But I love ninjutsu. I love sneak stuff. I think it's so much fun. It's cool that in this set, instead of ninjutsu, which has always been blue-black, This is white black. I think this is an interesting change to the ninja's archetype, and I love it when they do. It's the same with like Lorwyn recently, with like the elves being like green black, because there's another set where they were green red or something. So it's fun to see the different. Whenever they decide, oh, you know what? I guess Merfolk is probably a better analogy for that, because in Lorwyn they're blue white instead of blue green, which is what we normally think Merfolk is to be.
Originally blue green.
So forget the elf thing I said. The
Merfolk, elves
that's
have been like green white before.
They've been green white, and then they were green red in. Was it? Is that Zendikar maybe? Anyway, I can't remember.
Okay, sure, yeah.
But I like the ninja stuff, and I like this card because obviously it exiles stuff, and you get it on 3 or 4. You always get to get rid of something, but depending on if you use the sneak, it's just obviously way better. So
this card's really interesting, I think, because like typically in this type of deck, the way you want to use this card is to cast it, get rid of their blocker, and then attack. But this is saying, hey, if you can like bluff your way through the blocker instead, I will really reward you for that.
Yeah. Or you fly or whatever, or you death touch.
You have some other way of getting around it. But my favorite is like just try to bluff it and get through, and then you just then that guy's gone forever.
Exactly, because like what I'm really thinking about with this card is that like the other fox I was using is white. It's like 1 white, and because I've been trying to splash other colors, it gets a little tight sometimes, or I mean, not really tight, but if I happen to have, I guess it doesn't really matter that much. I guess like because this card is black in its sneak cost, it opens up a little bit more possibilities of like adding more black cards if I wanted to go into that direction of doing some sort of like white black sneak deck, or mainly white splashing a little bit of black just to sneak this in, or different things. Anyway, I like seeing it. I like that it's here. I like it's a fox. I'm here for it. I want it.
That's cool. I think this one is at least cooler than the Werefox. I like the design on this one.
It's not as flashy, but still good.
Boo. All right. Well, my second card is almost like the same pick as my first one. I just think it's worth it trying. I don't like it as much as the first one, but I kind of want to pick it up and see. So for my second card that I picked Rat King Verminister.
Sorry, real quick. I love that you picked this because I almost picked it, but I decided not to. But I'm so happy we're talking about this card. Continue.
All right. Rat King Verminister is 1 in black for a 1/1. It has Disappear. At the beginning of your end step, if permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, create a 1/1 black rat creature token, put a +1/+1 counter on Rat King. So this is very similar to a mechanic we had in Lost Caverns of Ixalan, except that it has to leave from the battlefield. Lost Caverns, it was like it just had to go to your graveyard from anywhere. But it's a mechanic that I've really liked. I built decks around it, and the Stalactite Stalker is one of my like pet cards that finds its way into all my decks. And this is similar, except it's a little harder to trigger, but it pays you off more. You get a rat and the +1/+1 counter on it. And then it has the extra ability, tap it, sack 3 rats, return target creature card and all other cards with the same name as that card from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Man, like, if you ever do that in an artifact or in a like sacrifice deck, because you have all these like dorky creatures that you're just sacrificing and bring back, this could bring back. This could basically just win the game, right? Because if you have a sack outlet, and this is also a sack outlet in a way, if you get enough rats. I don't know. The only thing that holds me back on this card is like it feels extremely difficult to actually trigger this when you cast it, if not downright impossible. Like I'm sure there's a way to do it, but is it a way you actually want to play? So you always have to wait the full turn cycle of like to get things going,
Yeah.
which is a bit slow. Or you like hold it as a 3-drop or whatever. But it, like if there was a way to that I was really happy with to just play this on 2 and it immediately triggers on end step, then I'd be all in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, you're just talking about getting the rat and getting the counter and stuff.
yeah, because you want to get to like the 3 rats, and you like
Of
a
course,
1/1
and
for
do the
2
whole
is
thing.
so bad.
Yeah. You need
2/2 and a 1/1 is very good.
It's very good.
like-
Also, notably, the rats can block, which is pretty good because a lot of the rats that we make currently don't block.
Yep.
I just want to point this out that this is really interesting that, like, because in my mind, this card immediately looks like Commander Plant
Yeah.
because obviously it's a Rat King. It's legendary. That's something that you forgot to mention.
Oh
But
yeah, I
it's
wish
a-
it weren't legendary, but
Yeah,
I
it's-
mean, this one it's like, come on, it's the Rat King, you know?
Yeah, of course. But obviously, when it says return target creature and all other creature cards with the same name, it's referring to relentless rats or any of the rat cards that you can have any number of them in your deck.
Right.
So if you're playing some sort of mono black mill deck, and then you play in Commander, you play Rat King, you sacrifice some rats because your whole deck is rats. You return all the relentless rats back from your graveyard to the battlefield. You have a giant relentless rats. You win the game.
But I like that's kind of specific to that strategy in Commander, because like otherwise, that text is quite bad in Commander, which is a singleton
Yes.
format.
That's true. That's true. So whether this is like the classic Commander players are like, oh, they just gave us the best rat, like relentless rats Commander ever. Everyone just plays that one, and there's no other reason to play the other ones. Sure. And the only reason I bring this up is because when Brawl was first introduced, I made like a rats deck with whatever the rat was from Dominaria that I can't remember. That's significantly worse than Relentless Rats
Right. Yeah.
because it gets like +1/+0. Anyway, I tried that and found out it wasn't fun. It sucks when your whole deck is just the same card. It's not a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
It's just
It's one of those things that always seems like neat to me read or like in theory, but actually playing it
so
never
boring.
seemed fun to me.
Yeah, well, the most fun thing about playing a card game is drawing your card for turn, and when your card is either swamp or rat, you're like, what's it gonna be? You know, like it's
And no
kinda
matter
sucks.
which one it is, you're probably going to lose because
Yeah,
either of those
'cause your
cards
deck
is good
sucks
enough.
ass. Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I love that it's an interesting card that could be played in standard, and like in my mind, it looks like a commander card, but really, you know, I like
Yeah,
this.
and you know, I'd have to look through the standard, you know, card pool too to see if there are
There's-
any rats that you wouldn't mind playing incidentally, just to sort of help this along. But I could see throwing a copy or two of this. It's its own engine.
Yeah.
You don't need other rats. This could do its own thing, kind of.
Yeah, there's like that one rat that's like 3 mana, and at the beginning of combat, you make a 1/1 rat and you exile cards from your opponent's
Oh
graveyard.
yeah, like that's true. I already the Sewer King. I already play that in some of these decks, generally
Wait,
with
wait.
sideboard. But
So you're gonna have a rat king and a sewer king. Is this just a king deck? Like you just
yeah.
build
Oh, it's
kings?
King Kindred. It's Kingdred.
Ooh. Oh, Kingdred. Oh, Kingdred. That sounds fun. Ooh, mono black Kingdred.
Mono Black Kingdred. definitely the deck to beat in the new
Yes.
standard.
Yeah, exactly. This is gonna go to the pro tour for
Yeah.
sure.
It's going to dominate, 7 copies of the top 8,
Oh god, that's so funny. I love that a lot.
25 copies of Verbidister.
For Minister. Anyway, I do have one more card. Which I think this card's kind of cool. It feels like I want to have this in my collection. It feels a little bit more like a sideboard card or a card that would have been really good a year ago. But I still want it anyway. Doesn't matter. They should give it to us. This card it's technically like two characters. It's Toka and Razar, terrible twos.
Yes,
So-
I was looking at this card too.
Yeah, this card is
Of course,
pretty
it
sweet.
was a Rakdos card.
Yeah, so this is a Rakdos card. It's hybrid Rakdos, so that's black, red, or black, red. It's a 3/2 legendary creature, Turtle Wolf Mutant at rare. It says this spell can't be countered. Great. It has menace. Sure. And it says whenever a player casts a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast it was less than its mana value, Toka and Razar deal 3 damage to that player. 3 damage
That's
is
a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. So specifically what I'm talking about is like basically exactly a year ago when Aether Drift was like the thing. The Pro Tour was won by literally this card needed to be in that Pro Tour because like you needed a boogeyman to that deck. It was won by Domain, which every card is you're casting it for less than its mana value. It's like all of the freaking dudes from Duskborn.
Is it
Overlords.
Lessons, man? Fuck you, is it Lessons?
Oh, that's true. That does.
That's their whole
Okay,
deck is trying to shave a mana off every spell in the deck.
I did forget that Grand does that as well as Artist Talent. Ooh, okay, that's nice. I was
Now
literally
they
thinking.
have 14 billion ways to kill this in their deck, but like,
Of course, yeah.
you know,
That
take
don't
3, bitch.
trigger it. Yeah, not even that. It's just like you play this and they play the lesson firebending.
Fire breathing lesson. Yeah, that one gets us. But the other ones,
immediately.
if they have a
Combustion
effect on the
technique.
battlefield,
If there's a Grand out
you're
there,
gonna
you're
take
taking
3 on the
3.
way out.
I'm gonna bolt the crap out of you for 2 mana.
Yeah.
But it was double black. Take that. But no, like I was
Your otter
specifically
can't
thinking,
block
like,
me.
yeah,
Yes.
like I wanted this for Overlord. This is the card I wish that we had that came out in Tarkir. Like, why didn't we have this in Tarkir? I wanted to beat up the Overlords. I wanted to punish you for playing over the up the beanstalk and trying to cheat on all that stuff. This would have been the perfect card for that. So it feels a little late to me. That's why I kind of brought it up. But you're right. It does go against Is It Lessons. I just don't know if it's fully worth citing into.
You have
just
to like
because...
already want to be playing it. And to be fair, though, I'm not. You're not that far off with a 3/2 menace for 2 in my books.
They
I'm
can't be
already kind of
countered.
interested in that.
That's pretty nice.
You know, if this ability
Mm-hmm.
is at all relevant in the metagame, I'm in.
Yeah, if you ever hit that, like, because obviously their entire deck is trying to do the Ancestral Recall thing, you're like, well, if you try to do that, you could take 6
Yeah.
on the way, right?
It'd take a lot of
like,
damage.
That's so much. So I just think this card's good. I just think it's neat. I think it's nice. Probably a sideboard card for me, personally. It's not white, so I don't know how I'm going to play this card.
Well, you're playing white-black sneak, so it could be in your sideboard.
It could be a double black card, which would be really bad for my mostly white deck. But yeah, I still want to have some copies of this just in case, because I feel like it looks like the type of card that would be in sideboards that I want to play of other decks. So I just want to have my copies just in case, because I know I'm going to be playing other people's decks, and I like this card.
I like that pick, too, because I was looking at this card and didn't pick it because I was thinking, oh, it's going to get in Is It Lessons? And I was like, is it, though? Because they just kill it, like, 100% of the time. It just never survives to actually do much damage. But then, you know, basically, if I'm understanding, like, your point is that it's almost certainly going to be good in the future because Wizards loves to print shit
They
that does this. And they
love
never
it.
learn their lesson, and it's always stupid when you get to cheat on mana. So yeah, like just having this in your collection for when it inevitably surfaces as a viable, like, anti-strategy is nice.
We've needed this card. Like, I know that there are other cards. What are the other ones? Like, does Damping Sphere do this? It, like, stops your opponent from playing cards like that, or... I actually can't
Damping
remember.
Sphere makes them, like, pay 1 additional...
Oh, that sucks. Like, that's not enough. for the thing that they got at a cost, or sorry, at a reduced cost discount. This card punishes the fact that it's legendary. Really screws it up though, because it's like,
man,
goddamn.
yeah. If you get a couple of these out, it's like you can't cast anything because you will take 6 or 9.
Because now you can't have 4 of these in your deck as beaters. You like
God, I
have
hate
to like.
legendary creatures.
I fucking hate legendary creatures, man. God. Anyway, so Toka and Raz are super cool. Like, if we had this, even right after Dominaria United, when they had Leyline Binding, that would have been worth it. You know?
Oh, yeah. Just take 3
Like-
on the way out.
At least, come on.
And just the other thing I was going to say, though, is what the final like thing where I was like, oh, I don't know if I'll put this card on, is this card looks awful against the green decks that are paying full price for everything and are just
you're
generating
right.
crazy mana,
So
which
much
is
mana.
a significant portion of the current metagame.
That's true.
It's like,
It
this
does
card
look
really
pretty bad.
sucks against them.
So that's why it feels like a sideboard card. Like, you cannot main deck this card. But I want it for my sideboard, you know? I don't want to spend... That's one of those things where, like, you're importing a deck list and you see the sideboard and you're like, oh, is that 5 wild cards in the sideboard? Like, oh, what do I do? Like, it's just nice to have them. I just want them.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Look, there's going to be a time when I want this card because there's going to be some deck I hate that's doing something dumb. And
Exactly. A deck you hate doing something dumb.
yeah,
And we need more hate bears.
that's right.
Please, and that's what we literally said last week. Mono white needs more hate bears. This isn't for mono white, but it is close to a hate bear, and I'm happy with it. Give me more hate bears.
All right. I only had one more as well. There were a few like red cards that are kind of into this artifact sort of sacrifice thing, but I wasn't actually sold on the rares in that. I think they could be worth testing, but like there are some commons that I'm more interested in for that kind of deck. And so none of them really like spoke to me.
Get your juices flowing.
But then I saw this other card that I was like, oh, that's a completely different direction. But isn't this just like a wild upgrade on a card we've seen do things in the past? And so the card that I picked is my third one that I kind of wouldn't mind exploring with. And so if I could pick these up in draft, that'd be great. Is Leonardo Cutting Edge. Now, we come...
Okay, all right. I was close to picking this card. This is exciting. Okay.
We keep coming back to the same theme of, like, I really fucking wish this card was not legendary, and I'd be way more excited with it if it weren't. But let me read the card. It's Leonardo Cutting Edge is 1 and a white for a legendary Mutant Ninja Turtle. It's a 1/1. It has Sneak for a white, which again is sort of like the ninjutsu, but it doesn't have to be a ninja anymore. You just plays the same way. It has lifelink, and whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Leonardo. So this is like the classic arena beginner hates this card, right? Like there's the mono white life gain deck with the Johnny's Pride Mate that has been, you know, the bane of arena new players forever. But like it's always shockingly good.
Powerful.
Like,
Yeah.
It's very powerful. And this is a huge upgrade on the kind of 2-drops that they tend to play. Like we got another one sort of a few years ago. I think it was in Lost Caverns, but it sort of like learns to fly. You know, it gets huge. It's like a super Johnny's Pride.
Yes.
But this one has lifelink itself, and the sneak like sneaks it in there. It could pick up something that gains life on ETB. Is like I guess the idea. This is like a supercharge to Johnny's Pride Mate for some sort of black-white life gain sneak deck. Like I'm kind of into that idea. And the only problem is I can't just like stack these because those decks are all about having like 2 or 3 Pride Mates that just get massive. And so I think this one I think it's hurt the most by the legendary rider.
It's
But
well,
I think it's pretty cool. Like, whoa, this is a powerful card.
I think it's super powerful. What I think was most interesting about this card is that if you get into a situation where, like, you're attacking with something, even if it's just like a 2/2 or like maybe a 2/2 flyer, and you're like, I don't have any way to actually gain life at this point, or like maybe the best scenario would be like what I'm trying to explain is like this is a 1/1 flyer with a counter on it, and you're attacking, and you're like, I can't gain life this turn to trigger all my stuff. Being able to sneak this out through that and be like, I'll lose the counter, it doesn't matter. I get to gain the life. I put counters on all my stuff, and being able to do that, or attacking with a bunch of stuff and like sneaking things out. It just the deck before felt like play all your cards then attack, right?
Yeah.
And this now has like actually attack first, see what's happening, see if maybe it's okay to not deal as much damage because you're getting so much life that your opponent's never going to be able to catch up, and then get some of this stuff on the battlefield. I think this card's pretty cool. I think it's really interesting. I love Sneak. I'm a big fan of Sneak.
Yeah, Sneak is cool. As someone who's been playing a lot of Kaito recently, it's pretty
we
good.
need more cards that can do that. The fact that that's the funny thing, like when Demir comes out and they're like, oh, they're gonna Kaito, but that's the only card they could have. Like, it's not interesting. When there's more cards they could have, you have to do a decision tree, which is what Magic's about, man. So I like this. I didn't necessarily think that my like white-black Sneak deck was going to be specifically life gainy, but like,
Could be.
okay, we could do some bats and some turtle ninjas. Okay, that could be interesting.
And lifelink on the Pridemate works both ways, right? Like, so it's nice. Obvious. The obvious one is it feeds itself, it gains counters. But like, your Pridemates get massive, and those are the creatures that you want to have lifelink, because they become unraceable, right? So you have
Yes.
the problem with Pridemates is like, and for brand new Arena players out there listening, it's just a 9/9. Like, it doesn't have trample, it doesn't have flying, it doesn't have menace, it doesn't have lifelink. So you could just block it, and
Or it dies, and then all your work is gone.
right. And so making it have lifelink means like maybe they eventually find a way to kill it, or they chump block it, but suddenly you're at 50 life. Like,
So when it's exactly when it's gone. And in this situation, because it's legendary, they probably have a backup because they're running more copies. Like, they're just holding the other ones because they're like, well, I hope this one dies to play another one.
right.
I don't hope it dies because obviously it's going to get a lot smaller, but you know what I mean. I even posted something about this card on Blue Sky, just talking about quote unquote power creep with the Primates. But it is true. It's a pretty sick card.
I like it.
Yeah. I just have to remember that this is the Leonardo that I'm talking about, not all the other ones.
Right.
Because, well, Jeff, before we get into our Pack Zero Pick ones, I have a little bit of a gripe with something we've already talked about, and we might as well just air it. But
Let's do it.
holy crap. The number of legendary creatures in this set is bonkers. And so I earlier had mentioned this set has 190 cards, not including basic lands, right? There are 12 cards at common that are legendary. 12. That is a lot. Uncommons, there are 23. Rares and mythics, there are 39. So in total, there are 74 legendary cards in the 190 card set, which is 38.95%. That is so insane. So insane. So I wanted to do some digging, Jeff. I'm not the math guy. I already talked about this earlier. I'm not the math guy, but I did a little bit of math just to see what we're looking at, okay? So, in the path sets, as we've been looking at legendary creatures, Lorwyn eclipsed. Out of the 268 cards, there were 20. 20 cards were legendary, which is 7.46%.
And it still felt like a healthy number of legendary creatures, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're totally... But a lot of them are rare. There's, like, some uncommons. But for the most part, it doesn't cramp your... Like, when you're playing in Limited, primarily, you're not like, oh, I have too many of this card. I can't play this many copies because they're legendary. Like, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
When there's like 39% of the cards are legendary, that makes it way harder to make your picks, right? If you go to Edge of Eternities, 8.43% were legendary, and then Tarkir Dragonstorm was 7.29% legendary. This is the normal range. Below 10% of cards are legendary in your set. Those are all big sets, right? They're also not Universes Beyond. I hear you out there. I get it. But Zach, Universes Beyond, there's so many characters. We have to make sure they have cards. All those characters are legendary because they're important and we care about them. Okay, all right. Sure. When we look at Avatar, Avatar was a large set. That's 281 cards. 76 of them were legendary. That's 27.05%. Okay, 27%. Sure. Great. That's a lot, but it's not close to 40. All right. Final Fantasy, right? There were 307 cards in that set, and 102 of them were legendary. That's 33.22%. However, none of them were common. Not a single one was common. They were all uncommon. Majority were uncommon, I think. Or maybe not majority, but a lot of them were uncommon.
Legendaries is wild word. It just never used to be a thing at all.
Yeah. So there's like a bunch of uncommon legendaries and then a bunch of rares. But when legends are at rare, I care less in draft. Obviously, in standard, it matters a lot more. But in draft, it doesn't actually affect you because you're like, well, whatever. Like, sure, if you get two of them, one of them's going to die. It's like nice to have a backup, but you're not going to get pinched by being like, I actually can't take this card because I already have 2 copies of it, and now a 3rd copy of this legendary card is going to screw my deck up. Now this comes to the final one. In Spider-Man, which was a small Universes Beyond set that had a lot of legendaries, 42% of the cards were legendary. 42! And that was a groundbreakingly horrible draft format. Not only because one of the colors was unplayable, red, which made that there were only 5 archetypes. When one of the colors is unplayable, that means that you only have 3 archetypes you can play because both of the red ones are you just should not touch at all. And the small portion of cards you can actually play, a bunch of them are legendary, which means that you can't even pick them highly because why would you? You're going to get a bunch of copies of them later because there's so many. Like, it was legit a problem where you're like, oh, this legendary card's really good and strong, but if I pick it early, I'm going to get 2 or 3 more in the draft. I can't put 4 copies of this card in my deck. I have to like trim it, and like the end of the draft was like, okay, well I have to cut down on all these creatures because there's like this is the black 3-drop is a common is this legendary card, and I have 4 of them, and I have to cut 1 or 2 at least, and it was just like, it's so hard to play the game when there's this many legendaries.
And it seems like we're just in line for the same thing, right? Like, they toned down a little bit, 42 down to 39%, but it's a pick 2 draft with 39% of a small card pool being legendary. I don't see how we don't run into the same problem.
It's just so brutal. And yeah, man, like, I don't want this set to be the Spider-Mans again because, like I've said this before in our Discord, I don't have a problem with pick 2 besides how fast the drafts were. I think they're going to fix that. And primarily pick 2 draft is a great thing for like LGSs if you're trying to get numbers and stuff. I don't really necessarily think that it matters on Arena.
Because you only need 4.
Exactly, because you only need 4 players as opposed to 8. I don't think it really matters on Arena because we don't have that problem. And I also think that I don't think sets need to be made for pick 2. Like, you just make a set and then like you're fine. Like, just make a good set. I know that like 5 archetypes will be more represented in the sets if if you open up less packs, you'll be able to build stronger decks because there's only 5 archetypes instead of 10. I get that, but I don't think that having 5 archetypes in the draft format is bad. We just had Lorem Eclipsed. I don't think that was a bad. I mean, we talked about it last episode. I'm not going to get into that again, but you could pick to draft that, and that was totally fine. In this, I really just think it's like it's a small set, and then there are legendary cards, and that's the scariest thing. It could still be good. I'm not saying it's just written off, but like we have the precursors, we have it's just giving me the Spider-Man feels, and I'm
the same feeling. Yeah,
I'm getting a little nervous, man. Because at the end of the day, I don't want another Spider-Man set. I don't want to dunk on Universes Beyond. I think Planar Standard is going to be really cool, but I also want Standard to be cool. Like, I'm not interested in having a format that's not good. I don't want to play Magic when it's bad. I don't. I want to play good Magic. I would like every product that they put out to be awesome. And I'm really nervous that we're getting rid of Lorem Eclipse so quickly, and that we're going to get into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and it's going to be bad because it's so small, and there's a million legendary creatures, and I can't play the set. There's cool mechanics. There's cool cards. I want to play this, and I want it to be good. It scares me when there's not that many commons, which we'll get to in a second, and there's just a 40% are legendaries, basically. And we also talked about this in the Discord that I kind of alluded to it, like there's a million Leonardo cards, right? It's like there's Leonardo's everywhere, obviously Raphael and Donatello and Michelangelo, and there's ones that common to uncommon to rare to mythic to multiple rares with the words in it to techniques that are also rares. Like, they're everywhere, which is important. And the reason that they do that, if you didn't know this, the reason that they do that is because if you're somebody who says, hey, I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you open a pack of cards because you bought one because you're like, that's cool. If you do not open one of those 4 characters in some capacity, that was a failure for you. And that is why they make sure that every single pack will have at least one of those characters will show up somewhere, because there's a huge as fan of those 4 characters. That's why they do that. It would be like opening a Spider-Man pack without a Spider-Man. Like, that would be just a huge failure, right?
Yeah.
That's why there's so many Spider-Man characters. Like, there's like a bajillion cards that say Spider-Man on it. So I understand that that's what they're doing, but that's also made for a random person walking through a mall, finding a pack and just being like, I'm going to buy one. And I hope, and making sure that experience is good, as opposed to making sure that the rest of it is good. So yeah. That was, I think that was weighing on me a little bit. I'm sorry, everyone. Thank you for listening to my grievances.
I'm with you, man. I have the same level of nerves that this is going to be another truly awful set. I think that's compounded by the fact that I don't think they would have really had time to react to the negative attention that the Spider-Man limited format received before this was kind of mostly set in stone at the very least. Yeah. And I think that's probably sort of reflected in the fact that it's very similar in terms of the stats. So there's a chance we have another stinker on our hands. That's possible. And,
when you pump out 7 sets a year, you can't expect all of them to be good, right?
Right. And they're sort of alluding, your last point sort of mentions this, like they're just optimizing for different things. And so for a set like this, maybe they're just not optimizing for having the best draft experience for enfranchised players.
They are not optimizing for the players.
And they are instead optimizing for the as fan, for the person walking around the mall being like, hey, I loved Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Maybe I'll buy that.
I'll spend $7 on a pack or whatever.
Yeah. And if they get no characters they recognize, like you said, then they're going to be like, why did I spend $7 on this?
What they should think is, I didn't get any of the characters I want. I have to buy another one to get the characters I want. That's
the
what they
old
should.
school mentalities. That's
know.
like what we grew up on, where it's like, no, this pack sucked. I need another one. But
we have like there are those things. There's like those Japanese like surprise bag things, where it's like a toy of some kind, and like you like buy it and you open it, and then people videotape which ones they get, and they're like, oh, it's not the one I wanted, and they go back and get another one. And, I think Labubus were kind of like that, maybe, where they're like all mysteries or whatever. Anyway, so we still have things like that, but obviously it's not in cardboard form. Anyway, I just I know that Hasbro specifically knows and cares about the fact that Magic is a game. Like we do have statements out being like Pokemon is really expensive because of like collectors and stuff, but like the game pieces that are like important for that game are fairly cheap, which is kind of nice for the players. But Magic, if you look at all the cards, the ones that are the most expensive are all the ones that are just good in game. Like that's just kind of how it is across the board. Yep. And so the game being good is really important for this entire ecosystem, and ever forgetting that is going to be a issue. Anyway, sorry, that was my mini tangent on legendary creatures, and then ended up being a lot more than that. Sorry. We try to be constructive and positive, and I want to be constructive in the sense that I will still play the set, and I will keep all of my actual, like, I'm not going to say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is bad until I've actually played it, and I haven't played it yet. I'm just afraid it's going to be like something I didn't like in the past, which I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who also feel the same way. Okay. Sorry. Now that I almost spilled my beer there too. There was like a whole moment. But everything's okay. Everything's okay now. We're gonna play one of our favorite games, which could be a disaster. But I'm also really worried about it this time. So maybe that's also me trying to be like, guys, wait, real quick. The format's gonna suck. So like, don't say anything about my picks. But we're gonna play Pack Zero Pick 1.
There's so few cards to choose from in this Pack Zero Pick 1.
Yeah, it feels really rough. So Pack Zero Pick 1, Jeff. Do you want to explain what's going on here? What's this game?
Absolutely. So this is a game created by MTG Data Science. It's not something we invented, but basically the idea is, there are all these set reviews, things going on that like to pick the best common of each color, let you get informed ahead of a new draft format, let you go into your pre-release with the best possible knowledge. And I think what we've learned from those set reviews is just how freaking hard it is to make those picks accurately. And so this game is basically just that. You pick the best common in each color, then you pick two more commons. This is basically like a little wiggle room for you if you don't pick the exact best common in each color. Maybe you got one in here. And then you pick the best gold signpost uncommon. This is often just like picking what the best archetype is going to be, though not always. And then just as a tiebreaker, you pick the best rare. And so what you do is you pick all these cards, and then at the end of the format, Zach looks them up on 17lands.com, and he looks at the game in hand win rate column, and we add that all up, and we see who had the best win rate according to their Pack Zero, meaning like we haven't played yet, so we don't know.
That's right. As it stands, Jeff, can you confirm tonight is Tuesday, and the early access event is tomorrow? So there is no possible way I could have ever played with these
I don't
cards.
know what kind of streamer, heads up you get from Wizards.
Sure. Yeah, they just give us like a sheet that says these are all the good cards.
I can confirm that today is Thursday.
Go back. Tuesday.
Yes, it's Tuesday.
Thank you. I was also going to say Wizards obviously doesn't know, like they can try to make certain things good, but they obviously do not know
That's
what's
true.
going to be
like
the
if
best.
you're getting insider info from Wizards, you might actually do worse.
It's going to be way worse. Okay, Jeff.
My favorite part
feeling-
about this game is insinuating that you cheat, though. Now that
I
you've taken
know,
that
that's
away,
why
it's-
I specifically made it so that we had to move recording to Tuesday as opposed to Thursday.
Was that your request?
It was. I'm going to go first, Jeff. So we're doing Wooburg order, starting with white.
Cool.
This isn't exciting. I have some more exciting picks later, but my first one is Uneasy Alliance.
Sure.
This is a white pacifism, so it's 1 and a white. It's an aura, and it says an enchanted creature can't attack or block. You can pay 5 mana, sacrifice this aura, exile enchanted creature. You create a 1/1 black ninja creature token, activate only as a sorcery. So 2 mana, make sure they don't have a blocker. Later, make a creature and exile theirs. There is a sacrifice. So one of the things that makes this card bad is that if there's sacrifice decks that are very good, the Golgari deck is a sacrifice deck where some sort of things leave the battlefield. However, I think that one of the decks that I think is really cool and interesting is, of course, once again, the Sneak deck. And you want to get in early, and you want cheap ways to make sure they can't block, and so this will be important in that deck. It's also an aggressive version, as opposed to the other removal spell that's in white at common is a non-aggressive card, which we may be able to talk to in a minute. So, but yeah, so I think Uneasy Alliance is like my pick here. Not a flashy one, not exciting, but feels like it's got to be up there somewhere.
Yeah, totally. I made an impulse decision here, and I decided not to take Uneasy Alliance, though I was looking at it. But I just had a gut feeling. I read the card. I was like, I dig this card. And so I chose it. And I feel like last time I was overthinking, and I ended up picking all the wrong things, all the worst things, but the entire format.
That's
now
true, you did.
Now I'm just going to go straight gut. And I really liked my initial reading of April O'Neil, Kunoichi Trainee. So, I love 2-drops, limited, it's no secret. This is a limited 2-drop. It is 1 and a white for a 2/2, regrettably legendary creature, but we'll see how much that matters.
There you go.
Human ninja. But here's the thing, Zach. When April O'Neil enters, scry 2
That's true.
on a 2-drop. This is a draw fixer, baby. If I have 2 lands, and one of them being in plains,
There you go.
and this, boy, am I keeping that hand. Like, scry 2? That's huge. Then it also says can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater, which basically means it can't be blocked profitably a lot of the time. Sometimes, that won't be done. Sometimes it'll be like a 1/3 or a 2/3 that, like, the 1/3 is almost more annoying to me because it's like, ugh. But this has some sort of evasion to help it get in and then get picked up by your sneak to then scry 2 some more. So
It's true.
I like this sort of 2-drop that I want to put into my deck. The sort of knock against it, 1's legendary, obviously. 2, it's not like, I love 2-drops that are good early and good late. This isn't necessarily that good late, although Scry 2 is very similar to draw a card late. So
Scry 2 is pretty nice late. I do want to say...
Scry 2 might be close to draw 2 cards in limited in the late game, because it depends. If you're scrying lands away, that was drawing 2 cards, basically.
Huge. It's huge, yeah. I will say I like April O'Neil. I made a rule to not pick any legendary creatures.
Smart.
In the commons, right?
Did not make such a rule.
Yeah. Because I had been looking at other cards. But I like April O'Neil. But there are 3 white legendary commons. The card I was alluding to earlier was Grounded for Life. It's 5 mana. For an instant, you destroy target creature, but it costs 3 less if it's tapped. We've seen this card before, but it's the other removal spell that matters. But it's very defensive. Like, you want to play this for 2 mana when people attack you. We both picked aggressive cards, which I like. Much more interesting to do. Before we leave white, I quickly wanted to just put a little spotlight on another 2-drop in white that we did not mention, which is not legendary, but it's called Action News Crew.
I was
It's
so
one in
close
white.
to picking this card.
I also kind of thought about it, but Action News Crew is 1 in a white for a 2/2 creature human citizen. It has vigilance, and it has channel. For 6, you can discard this card, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and you draw a card. So same kind of thing. Good early, you got a 2-mana 2/2 vigilance, you attack. Maybe you can pick this up and then later do the big thing. You discard it, put a bunch of counters on stuff. But the only reason I really wanted to talk about this card is because this card is called Action News Crew, and it has an ability called Channel 6.
Ah, okay. I like this card though. I would be surprised if this is up there for white.
I think this could do pretty well, but the fact they got the Channel 6 on there,
of course,
that's
I didn't
good.
even register that. I was just like,
It's so funny. It's so funny.
my only
just
thing
hear
is
that.
like it's good late, but not good enough early. Like just a 2/2 vigilance is it. It just doesn't really cut it in today's limited. Like you need a little more, I think, on the front end.
It's true. It depends on how many small things there are. But
Like
we'll
you
look
give
at
this
that.
almost any other keyword, and I'm super into it. But like vigilance is the one.
Reach.
Well, okay. First strike. Hey.
Okay, just don't be giving us the best ones. Okay, First Strike, Lifelink, those are the best ones.
Haste.
And then Haste would be amazing. Those are the 3 best. Or Flying, those are the 4 best.
Yeah, those are the good ones.
Yeah.
Trample.
Give it
I'm
Trample.
not super excited.
Sucks. Death Touch on a 2/2.
Okay, so vigilance is mid tier. All right, it's mid pack.
Yeah, it's like totally fine. Jeff, what's your blue card?
Okay, blue was I think the most interesting one.
It's pretty interesting.
I don't know. I wasn't super. It was interesting in the sense that I wasn't super inspired by anything necessarily.
Okay.
So I just
All right.
wasn't sure exactly what to pick. Like there
Sure.
could be this, could be that. Whereas I think white, I was like, ooh, I'm into a lot of these cards.
That's interesting because I felt the exact opposite.
The
but
exact
okay.
opposite. Okay, cool. I just went with Return to the Sewers.
Sure.
Return to the Sewers is 3 and a blue for an instant. Target creature's owner puts it on their choice of the top or bottom of their library. I feel like they're rewording these things again for this new player.
So that people know it's their choice. Yeah.
Right, yeah. Which I honestly like. Like, just clarity is always nice. But, okay,
Sure.
so... And then you create a mutagen token. Mutagen token is an artifact token, 1, tap, sack, put a +1/+1 counter on a creature as a sorcery. I don't know, we've seen these cards be pretty good. It's sort of like the blue removal, and I like anytime you get something additional on top of that kind of effect, it seems reasonably strong, so
Yeah.
return.
Instant speed. The only thing is it doesn't put it second from the top, which we've seen a lot recently.
Yep.
But sure. Yeah, works out. For my specifically blue card, I picked something else. This one's a little bit of a flyer, I think. Wink, wink. It's a 2-drop.
Buzzbots.
It's Buzzbots, baby. It's
thinking of
1 in a
Buzzbots.
blue for a 1/1 artifact creature robot insect. It has flying and vigilance. And it says when this creature dies, draw a card. Now, the fact that it says dies really sucks. Because, man, do I want to sneak this. I know that it's not in sneak colors. Because, as we said before, this is a 5 archetype draft format. So, it's all the enemy colors. So you're playing white-black, you're playing white-red, and for this instance, you're playing blue-red and blue-green. However, that doesn't stop you from playing an Azoria sneak deck, where Buzzbots is the card that's helping you get your stuff in.
Totally.
However, like, obviously, it just, you don't get to draw the card when it leaves the battlefield because of sneak. But you do get it if it happens to die in any other sort of situation, and flyers tend to have to die at some point. And especially vigilant ones that are like, they can attack and they get to block, and you get to draw a card at, You get maybe 2 or 3 damage in there, draw a card, get something out of it. I like it. I like this thing. It's one of my favorite 2-drops that we have access to here, and I don't know. I'm interested in this artifact deck. We'll have to see how it shapes up.
I like this card too. I was thinking about it. I thought about picking it on the sort of idea that it's the card that pulls everything together. Like, do you remember that card that what was the format? But it was the beetle that was an artifact and made them discard, and it's just like it ended up being the thing that it was the best black common, but basically because it just tied everything everyone wants to do together.
Yes.
And this gave me similar vibes. It's just like, I'm an artifact for the deck that cares about that. I'm a flyer evasive attacker for the deck that cares about that. If there's some sort of sack thing, I care about that. And then I'm just sort of a fine card at the end of the day.
And I cost 2 mana, which is important. Because, remember, in these small sets, like...
2-drops are huge, yeah.
Yeah, like the white cards, we had 2-2-drops. This one, we also have 2-2-drops in blue, but this is the significantly more interesting one, in my opinion. The other one's like a crab.
And as per your rule, it's not legendary, so you could take
and it's not
5 of these.
Legendary. Exactly. You can have as many as you want. Because I thought that taking legendary creatures at common was a bad idea. It just seemed like what you shouldn't do. Moving into black, I took a very obvious one, I think, here. We talked about food earlier, and this is, of course, anchovy and banana pizza.
I also took anchovy and banana pizza.
Yeah. This is 2 black for an artifact food. It says when this artifact enters, destroy target creature. And then, of course, it has the food text. You can pay 2, sacrifice it, gain 3 life. But the main reason is that it's 4 mana, sorcery speed, kill a creature, but it's also a permanent. It's an artifact that really matters, the fact that it's an artifact. It sacrifices itself, which matters in the Golgari deck. It can be used to be sacrificed by other things, which would be really important in the Golgari deck and other decks. And it's also just kills everything. It gains you life. It's great. It's going to be really... I just think it's what you want in black.
Yeah, it seems stellar. It makes me think of, like, just an improved version of Bacon to a Pie, which was like destroy a creature, make a food. And this is like, because it is the permanent, I can't remember if that was an instant, I think it was. So there's a downgrade on that. But the fact that this itself is a permanent comes with so much upside in terms of Reanimator shenanigans or like cast triggers or there's just a lot of reasons that this is better. It's not strictly better, like you say.
Well, it's something that
speed, but
I think because the Bacon to the Pie is instant speed, but I love a lot of things about this card, except for the fact that anchovy and banana pizza. I don't know if you and your father-in-law are eating this or whatever, but yuck.
Anchovies, yes. Bananas, no.
Bananas can get out of everything. You know what bananas are good for? Being a fruit that you eat by itself. That's what they're good for. They can stay out of every other thing that exists, including bread. Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of my bread. Get out of my freezer. Bananas are totally fine as like a thing. Maybe banana chips, but that's because it's still just bananas. But banana splits, those are terrible. Banana in smoothies taste like bananas. Banana on pizza tastes like bananas.
Bananas on crepes.
No. There's just have more Nutella.
Ugh.
Or strawberries are just way better.
Yeah, strawberries are better. I'll give you that one.
Yeah.
The Nutella banana thing can get out of here for me.
Yeah, just bananas. Leave them to the monkeys. Give them to Punch, the monkey in Tokyo. Or
just eat them. My kids love them, but they just eat them, right? So we go through a lot of bananas here.
Yeah, but bananas are totally fine. They're full of potassium. I know that because of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Again or whatever. Oh, no, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. That's what that movie is. Very important plot point of that movie is that bananas have potassium. But they don't belong on pizza, and especially with fish. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah, this is absurd. This is what kills the creature. Right?
That's true. You're right. There's a dead rat in the picture and everything. Yeah. Anyway, Jeff, what's your red card?
Yeah, I wanted to be exciting with red, but there's some cards I like. But I don't know, the card that was pseudo-spoiled on our Discord here. It's just the card that I was like, well, I don't know, this just seems like a very, very strong limited card. So I chose Manhole Missile, which is 1 and a red for an instant, deals 3 damage to target creature, and you may put a card from your hand on the bottom of your library. If you do draw a card, it's a hell of a limited card, man.
It's great.
It's like
there's some sort of dragon fire card that did this as well. Really great if you're playing any sort of combo deck in standard.
Sure.
If you want some way to kill something early, but also put your combo pieces back in your deck because you have to tutor them out somehow.
Yeah, these effects are classic for those reveal cards from the top of your library until you hit a creature. And you only have one creature, and if you draw it, that's so bad. So you need to put it back in your deck.
This is great for that. I also picked Manhole Missile. Like this is what you want to be doing. 2 mana deal 3 is just great. You can't.
You're
really
already
say
excited
no to that.
for that unlimited. Like that's already that's already like a contender for best red common, and then it also lets you filter your hand. Just seems nuts.
Yeah, just like dump whatever you want back into your deck, and not even into your graveyard, which in red is not really that bad. So, I like it. Yeah, pretty sweet. Could be pretty cool if you're happy to try to play like an off archetype thing where you're playing Gruul, and so you toss your like big creatures back into your deck thing. Could be kind of interesting, but. For green cards, oh buddy, I got excited when I saw this card. It's very exciting. Very exciting card. One of our favorites coming back around. He got a job. It is
we picked the same card.
Frog Butler.
Yeah.
This guy, if you remember this Frog Butler, he was from our set from Ixalan most recently. It's 1 and a green for a 1/1 creature frog spirit, but this one has Death Touch. You can tap it, add 1 mana of any color, and you can pay 2, and this creature gains reach until end of turn. The other tree frog that we had reach, and you could pay 2 to give it Death Touch. This is way better.
Yeah.
Way better to just natively have Death Touch, and then if you need reach, you can pay for it. Mana Dork fixes your mana, trades with a card no matter what. Like, this is a freaking great card, buddy. Yeah, I love Frog Butler.
Yeah, this is way better, like you said. Not least of which because there is a bite spell in the format. So having Death Touch be the base instead of paying extra for Death Touch and then fighting is like obviously way better. I was reading these cards in like set number order, which is essentially colored and then alphabetical. And so Frog Butler is very early. It's the third, the second common, but the third, like if you just sort by commons and uncommons. And I got to this card and I was like, I have a very hard time believing I'm going to choose anything else. I read it. I was like, I will, as a courtesy, read the rest of the green commons, but I don't see a world where I don't choose this card.
It's just so good. It's just too good.
It's just too good not to choose. How do you
if
not
I was
choose
playing at my LGS, this would be, I would have like 17 copies of this card. Like, I would be picking this all the time. It's just going to happen. Also, he looks hilarious, and I aspire to be him.
Yes,
He looks mostly like a waiter, to be fair, which I am one. If only I could hold a third tray with my tongue, that would be great.
Yeah, that's your main weakness.
The only problem is, how the hell is he getting those off of the tray? Do people just have to grab them from him? Because that's not good service. You have to.
I'm sure he has that figured out. Okay, but remember that nobody can touch him.
That's true, or they die.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he wants, to look like he needs help, but that he actually murders
like a
everybody.
James Bond pretending to be a butler, like assassin kind of deal.
Yeah, if that is James Bond, can we get that movie, please?
Yeah.
Why are we getting more? Oh, just a reboot. Can I get James Bond as a frog? Like that, I've watched that. Non-animated. I want live action,
of course. Yeah.
real frogs.
I want
Every time
animatronics.
no, not animatronics. You cut to James Bond, and it is an actual frog.
Oh, that's great.
Oh God.
In a tux, of course.
In a tuxedo, yes. It must be. So Jeff, do you have a miscellaneous comment? Obviously,
I do.
Just tell me what it is.
I do. I was a bit nervous about the April O'Neil pick based on the legendary status, so I did pick Uneasy Alliance as my backup.
Okay.
But I wanted to make it clear that I'm thinking of April O'Neil as the best way comment.
Okay. All right. That's good. Yeah. I understand that feeling. My miscellaneous common, I did pick a red card, actually. I picked Mouser Foundry.
I love that card.
I'm
so excited for that card. It's standard.
Yeah. So this is 1 in red for an artifact. It says when this artifact enters or leaves the battlefield, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. So this is a 2 mana 1/1. And then when it leaves, it makes another 1/1. It also has an activated ability. You can pay 4 in a red, sacrifice this artifact. It deals 3 damage to any target creature. So 2 mana early, get a 1/1. It's just on the battlefield. That's 2 artifacts in 1.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Those can be sacked for different things or chumped or whatever. Then later in limited, you could just deal 3 damage to something, make another robot. So you get 3 pieces of artifact for 1 card. That's pretty nice. You get to deal 3 damage. It's just, there's a lot going on here. I'm very excited for this. And spoilers, I think I'm pretty excited for this like artifact deck. I think this is kind of interesting.
Yeah, this is the main card I was alluding to earlier when I said I was looking at the red like artifact synergy rares, and I was like, I'm more excited by the commons or the non-rares. Yeah. This is the card I'm talking about. 3 artifacts for 2 mana. Nuts. And it even has like a way to sack itself. Usually these things don't give you that. So I love this card. I just didn't have time to process this limited environment to understand if this is any good in it, because it's powerful, right? Like there's a lot of upside here, but a 1/1 for 2 mana is not good on its own. So it does need to matter that you have those artifacts
and things, and
in the late game only dealing 3 only to a creature is also not exciting. So it's
totally,
it needs to be that there needs to be the environment for it.
Exactly.
So this is a bit of a bet, and it's a bet I love, and it's one I wish I had taken myself. But coming off the big bets I took last time, I was just like,
it's true. I get it. Sometimes you get a little. I got a little bit too big for my britches. To be fair, I did scale back some of my picks because I had some pretty dicey ones, and I was like, you know what, I can't. That's pretty embarrassing.
Yes, that was a little sus.
I will say that Mouser Foundry is both good in artifacts, like we said, which is it's all enemy colors. So red-blue artifacts, and then red-white Boros does care about creatures entering the battlefield, so you want to have multiple creatures enter. bunch of that stuff happens. I think this will also be important in that deck as well. There's another common that's a little bit better in Boros, obviously,
Right,
but
this
is a
feels
great
like
deck
a
up, too.
red-blue sort of main, but you're not unhappy to play it necessarily.
Yeah, I'm just more interested in this than the other one, but we'll have to see. Circling back around, my other miscellaneous card is not really exciting because it has been picked previously. It is Return to the Sewers. I did think that if you can tell, red-blue could be an interesting deck. And Return to the Sewers obviously looks like a card that has to be played in blue. Like if you're playing that deck, like the red removal kills the little creatures, the blue has to get rid of the big stuff.
And it makes you an artifact for your trouble.
It does make you an artifact, which is really important. It gives you counters and stuff. So, Return to the Sewers probably be pretty important on that deck.
Yeah. I hedged in a different way. But I did pick a card that has been so far unpicked, which is Stomped by the Foot. So,
okay.
This is 1 and a black for an instant. We've seen this card a million times, but it's kicker, sacrifice an artifact or creature. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. If it was kicked, it gets -5. It's 5 until end of turn. This is like it's similar to what you said earlier of like this isn't technically in the like artifact sack colors, which would be red blue, but it could be like a Grixis thing where this is the best spell in your deck because you get to sack the mutagen tokens or whatever.
I will say that green-black does care about having things to sacrifice, and green does touch blue, which means that it does make mutagen tokens, which means it does have random artifacts to sacrifice.
Right,
As well
so
as
it's like it's not like a slam dunk as in this is the common that's designed for the exact for every art, like it touches every archetype that touches black is going to work this. Which is why I was a little more into the anchovy banana pizza.
Mostly what you're saying is that like black-white maybe doesn't care as much, which traditionally black-white would like this card because that tends to be the sacrifice
But black-white doesn't want to sack its creatures because it wants to
bounce them back to its hand.
Right, yeah, it wants to sneak them. So this is, I think, like a powerful card we've seen around before. But, you know, the black-white deck might just want to play it in terms of kill a cheap blocker or like a small blocker to get damage through and maybe even enable sneak kind of thing. So
this is a good card. Yeah,
I'm into this, but I think it's like it's weirdly more contextual than it normally would be, which is like normally it's like you play this in the sack deck, it's amazing, and in other decks it's fine. And this is kind of like it plays different roles in the two different kind of decks that it might see itself in. And it could be like a weird third color to the artifact deck.
Nice.
So,
nice. Jeff, I'm very interested in what your gold signpost uncommon is going to be.
Okay. You know what? Like, I always get these wrong, so whatever. And so I just decided to just go with my gut and to just pick what I wanted to support, you know? Like, what do I want? And so I felt it very difficult not to select Pizza Face. And so we're going Pizza Face here, okay? So this is Pizza Face Gastromancer. 3 black green for a 2/4. And I've made this mistake before of choosing the expensive one. The cheaper ones always do better. But I don't care. 3 black green for a 2/4. Legendary artifact creature, food mutant. When it enters, create a food token. It has disappear at the beginning of your end step. If a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, put 3 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 other target artifact or creature. If it isn't a creature, it becomes a 0/0 mutant creature in addition to its other types. And then it has the hilarious ability 10 mana and tap and sacrifice Pizza Face and you gain 15 life. But 3 +1/+1 counters is a lot of +1/+1 counters. And so, like, you just kind of get into combat or whatever, something dies, and then you play this post, like, second main, and you either make a 3/3 immediately, or you put 3 counters on something else. I don't know. Three is a larger number than I was expecting to see as I was reading that text. And I don't know. There's a lot of value on one card here.
It's true. This is the guy I was talking about eating his finger. Like, I would eat this guy's finger. He is pizza face, but he is all pizza body as well. So I would eat the body. I like this card. I thought about it, and I do think that Golgari is going to be pretty good. Which is so. This is kind of the culmination of all the things I've thought about through this set. Is that the deck I want to be good is white black. Okay, I want white black sneak to be good. However, they have no common great card to sneak. All their freaking commons are not great at sneaking. They don't have amazing evasion. Like, April O'Neil does get blocked by 1/1s. The other 2-drop gets blocked by 1/1s. In black, there's like one mana 1/1 Death Touch that like still can be blocked, but like you don't want to as much. All the good evasive creatures are uncommon. So it makes me think that the white-black deck is going to be an uncommon-based deck, which means it's not going to be primarily the best. It won't always come together, which means I don't think it's going to be the winningest. Even though I think it's going to be really cool, I just don't think it's going to come together. It's going to be played a lot, but not come together. So I had to turn off all my white-black cards. I was like, no, I can't pick the cards I think are really cool, and I want them to be good. Which then led me to think, I think that black-green is going to be really good, because it's going to be very large creatures. Big stuff, there's a ton of Death Touch, and the fight spell with the Death Touch creatures is going to be very strong. There's 2 Death Touch creatures in common. It's the Frog Butler and then the black one I just talked about.
And the fight spell at common. Or, sorry, a bite spell at common.
It's a bite spell, Tenderize, or whatever. So that seems like a very strong deck. So then I went a little too far and decided that I thought that Izzet is going to be one of the best decks because it's going to spit out so many little blockers that it won't care about fight spells, because those will just mostly kill a lot of 1/1s or like little flyers or whatever. And they can chump for days. You just hope that you can get rid of the tramplers, and then maybe you'll be able to get something going and win the game. So the uncommon that I picked is Baxter Stockman. He's 3 blue-red for a 3/3 legendary creature human scientist. The only legendary creature I picked for the entire thing. Sorry. The only legendary creature I picked for the main thing.
Oh.
There might be another legendary creature coming in just a second, but that's just a tiebreaker, so it doesn't really count. Anyway,
who cares?
It says, when Baxter Stockman enters, you create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. So immediately 5 mana, 3/3, and a 1/1. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, target artifact creature you control gets +3/+0, gains first strike and vigilance. This is the hammer that you're looking for. If you're spending the entire game making a bunch of stupid little 1/1 artifact stuff around, and you play this card, attack, we know from other sets, Duskmourn had a great one, where it's like it gave +1/+0 and first strike. That was good enough to be a good red common. This giving +3/+0, first strike and vigilance? That is a lot of combat stats that are really hard to block.
It's a lot of stats, yeah.
Imagine the situation, you already have a 1/1 on the battlefield. Important, you already have the 1/1. I get it. Your opponent plays Pizza Face, right? 2/4. They lost something. We'll say they lost something on their turn. They turn their food token into a 3/3. On my turn, I play Baxter Stockman. I make my 1/1 into a 4/1 first strike vigilance. I get to attack into their 3/3 and their 2/4. And they have to kind of look at it and be like, well, I guess I just take 4. That feels pretty good. Now, in subsequent turns, if you do happen to, they lose their stuff, they do get giant creatures, so that's kind of bad. We don't like that part. But you do have a 1/1 that had vigilance that can block, so that's good. And you have your Buzzbots from earlier, so you get to draw a card when you block. So, But I will say, I'm interested in this Is It Artifacts deck. I obviously put a lot of picks into it. Both of my miscellaneous and my gold signpost are all leaning into it because I think that this small set type of thing does lend itself to something might run away with the format, and it could easily just be one of the most obvious ones, but I think this is mid tier enough that I think it might be able to pop up, but we'll have to see. I could be completely wrong. It could easily just be Boros. I don't think it's Simic. I'm not really worried about that one, and I'm not that worried about Orzhov. But the other three, I think that either Is It, Boros, or Golgari are going to be the best deck.
Yeah, I've been eyeing Golgari, but I do have a bias in that sort of towards such kinds of decks. So this is kind of like, am I just thinking this looks the best because that's the way I think about the game? So I tried to balance that out a little bit, but didn't do a great job.
There's one other card. I want to say that I, unfortunately, am a coward. I'm sorry, Jeff. I think you already might know this, but I am a coward. I'm sorry, everyone out there. There's a comment I really want to talk about, but I didn't pick it because I didn't think it was going to crack top 3, because I think it's going to crap. I think it's going to crack top 4. I think this is going to be the 4th best uncommon. Just like either top 4, but it didn't feel like it was the best. But I don't think it's going to be the worst. But I was scared. But I picked two blue commons. I really wanted this to be a common I picked, but I had to get rid of it. I already talked about it earlier. I'm making this way too intense than it should be. Mind Transfer Protocol, I think, is going to be an important card in this draft format.
Okay.
It's 2 and a blue for an instant. It says, until end of turn, target artifact or creature becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 4/5. Draw a card. Now, this is very similar to cards we've seen in the past. We always see some card that seems kind of expensive, and it turns whatever your creature is into base power, blah, 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 whatever. However, the draw a card part of the text is important. If you remember, in Neon Dynasty from Kamigawa, Suit Up is exactly the same card, except for it says target vehicle or creature becomes a 4/5, and you draw a card. That card was the 4th best common of that set. The other ones on top of it were 3 little creatures that were good for ninjutsu stuff and artifacty things and like getting in.
Right.
But this card was really good at pumping those up to be the final damage that you needed. And this makes attacking with a bunch of little 1/1 artifacts really difficult to deal with, because one of them could be a 4/5 out of nowhere, and you get to draw a card. If you don't draw the card, this card's terrible. When you do draw the card, it's pretty good.
That's the part that I was missing, is like, I want to attack with stuff. You are incentivized to block because I have sneak. And then when you block, I get you with this. Of course, this isn't in the sneak colors.
Yes. And so that's the weird part of it, that I think it's when you have a bunch of little 1/1s that you're attacking with the artifacts. Because you can also, even if you don't use this as a combat trick, I mean, to be fair, it could be a combat trick. Let's say you have an artifact that's not a creature. Your opponent attacks into you, you make a 4/5 blocker out of nowhere, you draw a card, you kill their creature. That's a 2-for-1 out of nowhere. That's pretty sick. I very much like Mind Transfer Protocol. I just don't think it's going to be the best common. That's why I couldn't pick it. That's why it was so hard. I just think it's going to be that the entire reason I'm picking is because of this card, and I think it will be good. I think it will be important. I just don't think it's going to be the best, because I think it will be misused, but I think it's strong. And the fact that you can turn your non-artifact creatures into creatures does change the combat math.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of like Mouse or Foundry and things like that, where you're just like, oh, this becomes a 4/5 for the turn, and I draw a card, and you weren't expecting this attacker. Or you turned your random 1/1 flyer into a 4 power attacker, or random blocks, or random attacks. I'm putting a lot of metaphorical eggs into this basket because I'm putting 0 actual eggs into the
you're
basket.
not actually. This
No.
is where the coward thing comes in. God,
I told you,
yeah,
that's why
yeah.
I'm a coward, because I was not able to
all
pick it
clear
for an
now.
actual. For an
You know, I
actual
totally
pick.
glossed over this card. This is one of those cards. We talk about this all the time, but you just have like shortcuts your brain takes when you read certain things, and you're just like, no, I'm going to move on. That was this card for me. I was just like, no,
Now-
I've seen this effect a million times. It's never the best blue comet kind of thing. And
Yeah. And I've also felt the same way, but years ago. Do I remember how many years? I don't remember. But Suit Up
X.
Suit Up was a big enough shock to my brain that I've been looking for this card for a long time, and it finally feels like this could be the format for
it's
it.
a lot of stats, man. Draw a card.
4 or 5?
Like, if you kill their creature and draw a card, you're ecstatic.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just you have to set that up. But there's a little bit of work.
Yes. Yeah. When players get better, this card gets a lot worse. Is one of the problems.
Right.
But I'm interested in this card, and I would play 2 copies in my deck. That's what I would do. Anyway, sorry, that's my little tangent on that. I've had a lot of little tangents. I'm so sorry, everybody.
People love the tangents, man. That's what they're here for.
I hope they do, because they kind of have to. Anyway, I have one more tangent, because obviously we're still at my pick. Apologies. We're picking our tiebreaker rare. This is another legendary creature, because I lied and said I only picked one legendary creature. Technically, this one's, I guess technically
Early
this
on, you were clear that you picked no common legendary creatures.
Yes, that's
so
true,
I was
that's
like,
true.
okay,
Yeah,
so was like all his non-common picks legendaries.
So this is, I guess, technically 2 legendary creatures. I picked Raph and Mikey, troublemakers.
Okay.
So this is a 5 and then hybrid Gruul. So I don't know if we're playing Gruul in the actual like format, but it's either red or green. Probably not red and green. But this is a 7/7 legendary creature, Mutant Ninja Turtle. Duh. It has trample and it has haste. And it says, whenever Raph and Mikey attack, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This is the kind of card that kills you.
Yeah.
Very
This is a like you win the game kind of card.
Exactly.
The most reasonable board states you encounter, having like 7/7 trample haste plus another, whatever creature attacking with haste is enough to break the board stall.
Yeah. And
Or
this is
if
the
you're
kind of
ahead, just kill them. Or if you're behind, probably still just kill them. Like,
yeah. Like, this is the kind of card that's just like, I'm going to play this, and I'm getting something, like, immediately. Yeah. That's what
obviously
the haste
7's expensive, but, like, you get paid for paying 7 here.
Well, the haste is the
value.
biggest. If you didn't have haste on this card, irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
absolutely.
Yeah, haste is huge. And trample matters, too, right? Like, can't just be chump blocked. These are the exact 2 keywords you want on a card like this.
So I'm not worried about this card in any other format, but in draft, I think this is one that you should be scared of if you get towards the end of the game where you're like, if I attack out, get them
and
to
it's
1.
Just a rare, too, eh? Yeah.
So I think this one could definitely do some damage. The biggest knock against it is that it's an allied colored pair.
Right.
So, like, it's not obviously going
But,
into
like,
Gruul
I don't know,
deck.
does it matter if you pay double red? Like, it's at 7, you're just happy to pay the double of whatever color you're playing, right?
That's true. But, like, I don't know how many... I don't know how much of its stats are going to go down because people pick it early and think that they're playing Gruul. who don't
I
look
see.
at the set.
Yeah. I think of it the other way. It's like I take this, I can put this either in my red deck or my green deck, and it doesn't matter. It's a bomb either way.
Which is what's supposed to be. Yeah. But as opposed to, there's like Simic cards or like Boros cards that are the same.
Right.
Where you don't fall into like a quote unquote trap. Which like technically you could play any color combination you want, but and this might be one of the reasons why you do play Gruul. But
true. Yeah.
Anyway, Jeff, what's your tiebreaker rare? I'm interested.
Oh, this was a no-brainer. I chose Slash Reptile Rampager, 3 red for a 7/5 Mutant Berserker Turtle. Alliance. Whenever another creature you control enters, deals 2 damage to each opponent. Whenever it attacks, create a 2/2 red mutant creature token. I picked this because it was my pre-release promo.
Oh, that's great. Oh, so you already have a copy in your collection.
You gave it away.
Actually, I forgot. Yeah. I forgot you gave it away. You gave it away.
But I did play with this already. It's decent. But I felt like I owed it. I had to choose this card because it's the only card I've played with in the entire set.
I love that. It's pretty good.
It's strong, yeah. It was fine. I don't think it's probably actually going to be the best card or whatever, but this was what shocked me when I was like, what the hell is going on?
It shocked you.
Yeah, and that's what it does. It shocks.
It shocks? Oh, man. That's great. All right, well, Jeff, are you ready to hit us with the bad news?
I am, although actually I just gave the prompt at the start of this episode. I haven't actually seen these yet. So I am officially trusting Gemini enough to actually make picks here.
Oh my god.
This is a first. So let's see. It's possible these are from the wrong set, or it doesn't understand what cards it's actually picking. I don't care. I'm just choosing what it says. Okay. So white, Uneasy Alliance.
Okay.
Okay.
And for those that don't remember, we asked Gemini to tell us what the best cards are going to be for the Pack Zero Pick Ones, and we try to fight Gemini.
Yes.
So AI is our enemy, and Jeff and I are, well, oh no. Why are you laughing?
Blue, Mind Transfer Protocol.
You gotta be fucking kidding me, buddy.
I guess Gemini's not a coward.
God damn it. That's so annoying. Now I want it to do badly.
Oh my god, it's like 5 paragraphs about why this is good. Okay. Black, Stomped by the Foot. Alright.
Sure. I can't believe that.
Transfer Protocol, okay. Red, Manhole Missile.
Yeah. Red's never that interesting.
Green, Ragamuffin Raptor.
Oh, what's Ragamuffin Raptor?
I'll have to go check Scryfall for that one.
Yeah, so Ragamuffin Raptor is 4 and a green for a 4/3 creature dinosaur. When this creature enters, return up to 1 target creature or food card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Right. So it returns your anchovy and banana pizza.
Oh.
That's nice.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
Although Gemini didn't choose anchovy and banana pizza. Okay. Then, unrestricted common selections. Mechanized Ninja Cavalry.
Oh, yes. Okay, so this is 1 in a Boros. So it's 1 red or 1 white for a 1/1 artifact creature robot ninja. It says when this creature enters, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token.
Okay.
The card that I was mentioning when I was talking about Mouse or Foundry. It's like a creature
son
version.
of a bitch. April O'Neil.
Okay. Well, it made 1 wrong mistake. That's good.
All right. Signpost Uncommon, Technique. That's the like pump spell or kill spell that has.
Okay. Yeah, so Karai's technique is 1 white black for a sorcery at uncommon. It has sneak for white black. It says choose one or both. Target creature gets +3/+3 until end turn, or target creature gets -3/-3 until end turn. So like a souped up skullduggery with sneak. Interesting. I think it's fine, but I don't think it'll be the best.
Yeah, that's an interesting pick to me. And then its tiebreaker rare is Agent Bishop, Man in Black. Which is 2 and a white for a 1/2 human soldier. At the beginning of combat on your turn, +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It's like a souped up, the one from Zendikar
I
Rising.
know exactly. Yes. What was that card called?
Can't remember. But yeah, like a 3-mana version, which is significantly worse, I think. But
If you already
Two
in limited,
+1/+1
it gives you
counters.
the it's way more likely you already have a creature,
that's true.
so you
as
get the
opposed
2. Like this is so much better if you can put
Okay.
if you can distribute them widely, I guess. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Yeah,
like
it
a
is good.
2/3 plus make your 2/2 a 3/3 is a strong start.
Yeah,
It
your
scales
April
well.
O'Neil.
I don't hate it.
Oh, okay. I don't hate it either. It's legendary, but sure.
Why did they pick a non-legendary rare?
Jeez. Anyway,
Those are some decent picks.
decent picks.
A few, eyebrow raises, but
No, Mind Transfer Protocol. I fucking hate them for that.
that's my favorite pick.
I'm so mad about that. That sucks because that was supposed to be my good pick that I didn't pick, and now the
that
robot
you weren't
picked it.
willing to commit to. That's what's perfect about it. Jim and I just went all in, wrote so
I
much
know.
about why that was
So-
the right pick.
So I, instead of Return to the Sewers, I had Mind Transfer Protocol, and 30 minutes before we started the episode, I switched it, and
I really hope that we lose because of Mind Transfer Protocol.
I
It's
don't,
the best
man.
blue common by a landslide.
I just want to say that I did say it was going to be good. I just didn't say it was going to be the best. So like 2 to 4. If it's 2 to 4, if it's 5, I lose. If it's 1, I lose. 2 to 4.
You didn't. You did pick 2 blue cards above it, though.
Okay. What if we say 3 to 5? 3 to
I feel
4.
like you said 4.
That's 3 to 4 is only 2 spots, though. That's so small.
But there are so few comments.
That's true. So it's either 3rd or 4th, but like that's so much harder than it's going to be top 5.
Well, yeah.
Hey.
Top 5 is like you're picking.
Okay, fine.
In this
Okay,
set,
fine.
You're picking the one card that doesn't get.
All right, fine. So the robot said it was going to be the best, and I'm going to say it's 3rd or 4th. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that bet. Okay.
Okay.
It will not be 1st or 2nd, but it will be 3rd or 4th.
Gemini's saying number 1. I'm not a coward.
Yes, and I'm saying 3rd or 4th because I am a coward, and I picked the number 1 and number 2. All right. Okay, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. All right. So Mind Transfer Protocol, everybody out there, it's going to be the 3rd or 4th best blue common in the set. And it will be the last. It'll be the worst one ever. Yeah. Anyway, let's go last call. Jeff, this has been a long episode. We got to wrap this puppy
Wrap it up.
It's time to talk about Kapow, the beer that we were drinking this evening. As always, we rate our beers on a scale from bronze to mythic, just like the tiers in Arena. However, this has nothing to do with what tier you are in currently, because everybody's in different tiers at different times. So don't feel bad when we say that bronze beers are trash. They're horrible. You spit them on the ground, you hate them, and you can't drink them. You just can't.
Silver beers are bad or just kind of boring. Not a lot going on.
Gold beers are fine, but you wouldn't drink them again.
Platinum is solid. You would totally drink it again.
Diamond beers are exceptionally like this a lot. You show them off to your friends.
Mythic, these are the best of the best. These are the mind transfer protocols of the beer world.
Oh no, that's gonna haunt me, isn't it? It's gonna. Anyway, Kapow as a beer, West Coast IPA, not terrible.
Yeah, it had a lot going on that was reminiscent of a West Coast IPA. Had the same flavor sort of profile that a lot of them have. For me, there was something. There's just like some sort of taste that I smelled it right away as soon as I poured it.
Right.
That I can't like quite put my finger on, but that I didn't love. It's a little off to me. It's not quite like the whole cilantro thing, but kind of reminiscent of that, where it's just like,
Sure.
I'm picking something up that I don't necessarily love, but I don't think it's necessarily a fault of the beer. It's just something that doesn't agree with my profile for whatever reason. So I thought it was solid, but not incredible, and I personally probably wouldn't drink it again. So I think for me it was a gold, but I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it, and I could see people liking it.
Yeah, I would give this like a high gold. I think I'm in the same place where like I don't really want to drink this again. I'm not going to recommend this to anybody. But as far as West Coast IPAs go, as folks that live on the East Coast, I don't even think it's that, but like East Coast IPAs are always like juicier. There's like something different going on, and sometimes the West Coast ones can be so bitter that there's like, this is like the West Coast ones feel like when people say, "Oh, IPAs are gross," that's what they're talking about sometimes. And
probably.
I've definitely had a lot of West Coast IPAs that are like, we are going to Bitter Town. Like, holy crap, you are going to be puckering after this. This was not that. It was definitely not that, and that's what I might have been worried about. It was smooth enough. It was totally palatable. It was tasty. I will forget about it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I feel like I sort of grew up on West Coast IPAs because those became more available first when I was sort of entering the craft beer scene, and then I learned that East Coast IPAs were better, but I still have that sort of nostalgic thing for the West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, like, I started drinking beer in the West Coast, like, I'm in the same boat, but I didn't really actually start drinking IPAs until I came to the East Coast, or Eastern area.
I don't know if I'd consider us East.
We're not the East Coast, but like we use the Eastern time zone, so it's enough.
There you go. That's fair.
It's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, gold for Kapow.
Yeah, I think that's totally reasonable rating for this.
Gold, like a golden pizza crust. Anyway, Jeff, let's go to closing time. Let's wrap this whole thing up.
Wrap it up.
As always, you can reach us at Arena Regulars on Instagram and Blue Sky.
You may also find us on Arena itself under the username Arena Regulars Podcast.
You can talk to me personally. I am the regular_Zach on Instagram and TikTok and all the different places. But Jeff, where can they find you?
Honestly, best place is our Discord channel. We mentioned it earlier. It's just a great place to come and chat. We talk about standard, we talk about limited, we talk about everything, paper magic, like whatever you want. There's a chat for it. We have a fun little community going. And once a month, we do an Arena Peasant Cube draft, which means it's only commons and uncommons. You don't have to use your rare mythic rare wildcards, but that doesn't mean it's not powerful. This is a super powered cube. It's a lot of fun, and honestly, super actively maintained. It's always being updated with the newest and freshest cards and archetypes, and we do that once a month. And so if you want to join that, join our Discord. The link is in the show notes.
It's lots of fun. We'd love to have you. Also, please leave us
free. I forgot to mention that.
It is free. Yes. What is also free is leaving comments on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Follow us on YouTube as well. That's also free. Leave us a comment. all these things help our SEO and blah, 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 all the stuff with the podcast things. But really, what we want to do is we want to hear what you think about the show so we can get better and also just, engage with you.
Zach, I think you mean AIO. That's the new term.
Oh, I did not know that there was a new term. Okay, AI is part of... Wait,
AI does all the searching now, so you want to
Okay,
optimize for
real-
AI searches?
Sorry, I thought you were trying to put me into some, farmer's rhyme. What is it? AIAIO.
Close.
Yeah, Old McDonald something. Anyway. God. This has been the Arena Regulars.
Reminding you that there's a real chance we have another stinker on our hands here for a limited format, so it's best you start drafting a backup plan now.
Good night.
All right, that's fine.